right, it is official. The Bears used their number one pick to select quarterback Caleb Williams, but there is so much more to the NFL draft. Andy Phillips is the author of Round Zero, Inside the NFL Draft. He was a player with the Green Bay Packers and a writer for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And Andy Phillips joins us now live. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, I know you got a lot of good stories of a lot of all-time great players and their draft experiences. But listen, let's start with the Bears and their first-round haul. Obviously, Caleb Williams is the prize, and Rome Odunze is another pretty good pick. Bears fans, we've been hurt way too many times to get too excited too soon. But as you look at this first day for the Bears, what kind of grade would you give them?
I think they knocked it out of the park. And as someone who grew up in Michigan, a Lions fan, and spent some time in Green Bay, it's not the easiest thing to always say, but I think the Bears came and conquered. It's funny, one of my best friends, Kevin Henry, I played college football with, he's a Bears fan, and I don't think I've ever heard him happier, more ready for a season than he is this morning. You get your franchise quarterback that you hope works out, but you surrounded him with the pieces. And frankly, I think at number 9, Rome Odunze, I had him graded as the best player in the entire draft. And the Bears got to sit there and take him, add another weapon to the arsenal. The offensive line, could they have addressed it? Sure. But I do think they got the best player in the draft at number 9 to pair with Caleb Williams. You pair him with Keenan Allen, with DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and you have yourself arguably the best pass-catching trio in the NFC just coming out of last night. So Caleb Williams has no reason not to come in and succeed early on. And I think the Bears did exactly what they needed to do. They followed the blueprint I'm sure they had since January and succeeded yesterday. And I anticipate that the NFC North is put on notice today.
Man, you look at all those quarterbacks taken from in the first round, 6 overall. I think maybe a couple of months ago, people would have thought 5, and J.J. McCarthy having a strong, postseason, and obviously the combine stock raised him a little bit. As you look at 6 guys, do you think it shook out the way it should have in terms of the order in which they were drafted? And what is the, success rate on 6 quarterbacks going in the first round?
So the last time we saw 6, I believe, was 1983, the Elway Marino draft. And I would say that Elway, Marino, Jim Kelly were your obvious successes, and the other 3 maybe weren't. So I think if we hit a 50% success ratio out of this class, you're looking at it being a good class. The ones that are set up for the most success, I think you got to look at Caleb Williams in the situation he just went to in Chicago, as we already discussed. I think Jayden Daniels, who was my number 1 quarterback on my board based on what he can do inside the pocket, technique, mirroring his feet and his eyes together, very good throwing across the middle, very good throwing the deep ball, anything you want, and has the ability when he escapes the pocket to look a lot like Lamar Jackson in terms of the speed. He should find success early based on that. I do worry about his frame a little bit and if he can sustain the hits. But Michael Penix Jr., I was high on him. He was actually my 2nd best quarterback in this draft. I watched the film. I could not get over how he threw the football. I know he was a shock for a lot of people, not just going in the top 10, but going to a team that just signed Kirk Cousins in the offseason. But I think they're looking at the Green Bay Packers model of draft. If you don't have to play him for 3 years, that's better for the player and better for our organization. While I think a lot of people were shocked that Atlanta went that route at number 8, I think for Penix, he gets to sit until he has to really play, and I think he can get accustomed to the offense. So when he's put out there for the first time, he's ready to roll mentally, and then physically, I don't know if anyone threw a better football than him. I would guess those are the 3 that worked out. But if there's a 4th, I love Drake May. I really liked what he did on film. I worry is the infrastructure set up in New England right now. The coverage are a little bit bare. He needs some weapons. They need to address that tonight with that 34th pick for sure to start getting him some help. J.J. McCarthy, though, in Minnesota, everything's there for him. Now we'll see if he can succeed.
All right. I want to give you a chance to talk about your book, too, because a lot of it is the behind the scenes of the NFL draft from guys that have done it and some of the best of all time. What's the story you have in there about Terrell Davis?
Yeah, so Terrell Davis was funny because when I first contacted Terrell, he said, I don't know if I have a great draft story for you, but I'm more than willing to, talk about it. And it was funny. I think his draft story is real. It's a day 3 pick, 6th rounder who thought he was going to go higher, which many guys at day 3 think they're going to go higher for one reason or another. But he's the guy who lost his job. His second to last year at the University of Georgia, he was the man, and he'll be the first one to admit he failed as the go-to back. He followed Garrison Hurst, couldn't live up to that hype of RBU, as he called it. He loses his spot. His senior year, the majority of the time he played fullback, and the majority of the time the running back behind him, Hines Ward, who turned into an all-time great wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He didn't really know what he could do. Now, he thought he could go as high as the third round because he had a couple games late in his senior year that he thought could have propelled him, especially with the Mel Kipers of the world kind of putting the world on notice about Terrell Davis. But he kept falling. When he was selected by the Denver Broncos, he was actually upset because it was the 6th round. He had seen many players from Georgia drafted that late go away for a couple months, and next thing you know, they're back in Atlanta or back in Athens. And he didn't think he didn't know if he was going to make it based on where he was selected. He also grew up a Chargers fan, so he wasn't too fond of the Broncos. But he said it took him very little time to realize when he got to Denver, I'm better than all these guys. I'm going to make it. It was pretty cool because the great story about Terrell is one of the first preseason games, there's a massive hit on a kickoff, and it was the running back who had turned into a future Pro Football Hall of Famer.
He's got more stories in there from Mike Singletary, Bill Cowher, and then Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, but we won't hear from them at all because we don't like them in Chicago. The book is Round Zero Inside the NFL Draft. Hey, for more, you can follow Andy on social media. Go and check out the book. Andy, thanks so much for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Enjoy the draft tonight as well.